Episode 2. The Witch's Curse. In the aftermath of the dollhouse's malevolent awakening, Emily and Sarah couldn't escape the horrors they had witnessed. The shattered dollhouse lay in ruins outside Emily's window, but the terror it unleashed persisted, haunting their every thought. As the nights grew darker, Emily's dreams turned into nightmares of the spectral woman. Each night, the woman's laughter echoed through her mind, promising a fate worse than death. Emily's once bright and cheerful demeanor withered away, replaced by the weight of fear and despair. One fateful evening, Emily awoke to a chilling sight. The witch's doll, which she had thought destroyed, stood at the foot of her bed, its glassy eyes locking onto hers. Frozen with terror, Emily could only watch as the doll's mouth twisted into a sinister grin. It spoke in a hauntingly familiar voice, the same one that had whispered through the dollhouse's walls. "You cannot escape the witch's curse," the doll's voice hissed, its words seeping into Emily's very soul. "You will be mine, body and soul, forever." Tears streamed down Emily's cheeks as she tried to flee, but her body refused to obey. The room seemed to shrink around her, the walls closing in as if to suffocate her. The doll's presence grew stronger, its dark magic enveloping her like a suffocating fog. Sarah, who had stayed over that night to comfort her friend, rushed into the room upon hearing Emily's screams. But when Sarah laid eyes on the doll, her expression turned to one of pure terror. The air turned icy cold, and the room filled with an otherworldly presence. The spectral woman manifested before them once more, her eyes blazing with rage. "You thought you could break the curse?" she sneered. "You are nothing but pitiful mortals, playthings for my amusement." The room twisted and contorted, taking on a nightmarish form. The walls dripped with blood, and the dolls from the shattered dollhouse crawled out, their lifeless eyes fixated on Emily and Sarah. The dolls danced grotesquely, their movements accompanied by haunting music that seemed to come from nowhere. Sarah clutched Emily's hand, and with trembling voices, they recited an incantation passed down by their ancestors, a last desperate attempt to protect themselves from the witch's malevolence. But the witch's laughter drowned out their words. "You are powerless against me," she taunted. "Your fear is my sustenance. And you shall feed my darkness for all eternity." In that moment of hopelessness, a dim light flickered in the corner of the room. It was the talisman, still holding the remnants of its power. Emily, finding strength in desperation, seized the talisman and unleashed its energy towards the cursed doll. The room erupted into chaos. The doll screeched and shattered into pieces, and the spectral woman's form wavered. But the witch's curse was not so easily broken. The dark magic surged, threatening to consume them all. With a final burst of resolve, Emily mustered every ounce of her will and directed the talisman's energy toward the spectral woman. The room trembled as the dark magic clashed with the talisman's light. In a blinding flash, the witch's curse shattered, and the spectral woman dissipated into nothingness. The dolls fell lifeless, and the room returned to its normal state. Emily and Sarah collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath, their bodies and minds exhausted from the ordeal. They had survived. But the horrors of the haunted dollhouse were far from over. The witch's malevolence still lingered, waiting for an opportunity to strike again. Emily and Sarah knew they had to face the darkness once more, for the nightmare had only just begun. To be continued. Dear listener, thanks for watching KKJ Haunting Horror Stories. Thanks once again for your support. Note, the story is entirely fictional and created for entertainment purposes. Any resemblance to real events or persons is purely coincidental. Subscribe, like and share our channel for exciting and horror stories. Hit the bell icon for all new stories notification.